Hi, everyone. I'm Libby, and over the last year, I've been supporting people in a couple of different things. I'd love to speak to you now if you're going through feeling stuck, feeling angry, feeling overwhelmed, feeling either like you're imploding and things are actually imploding within your system in a way that feels so deeply uncomfortable or like you can't handle, or exploding, like things are actually pouring out of you onto others. And I want to invite you to notice it specifically in three different areas and notice how you could be radically different in each of the areas. So we tend to have an image that if you're put together in the financially successful department, or if you're put together in finding a partner and having a family, or if you're put together in feeling confident in yourself, then the other areas are all falling in line. And while, of course, we are striving to have greater holistic and coherent change and development in ourselves as people, we also know this is not what it feels like and looks like to us. It's very possible to be thriving in one area and to feel, I like to use the word under-resourced in another because there's so many things that under-resourced can mean. It can mean that you don't have emotional support, mental support, financial support, spiritual support, energetic support, environmental support. It can mean that you don't have a capacity or skill. It can mean that you're in a state of disalignment or dissonance where it's really not the right thing or place for you. So there's so many reasons for what is off. And I want you to just get to take a deep breath and let it be for a moment that you might be killing it in some places and in others feel like you cannot freaking handle it. So my work has directly come out of this experience in myself. I'm an extrovert. I'm a very high energy person. I love people. I love creation. And I also, throughout my life, have dealt with roller coasters of emotion. And especially after losing my brother to suicide, this emotion, excuse me, as usually happens when I start talking about deep things, my throat physically closes. I'm losing my brother to suicide. I not only went through a journey with grief, but I also went through a journey with really questioning the safety of my own mind and my own mental health. And it is the process that I've gone on that has allowed me to begin over and over and over again to practice holding multiplicity, not just in the way that I look at the world, but in the way that I'm responding to and holding myself. And this practice of holding multiplicity, or if you're on my Patreon page, I sometimes just call it leaning into complexity. It takes maturity. The gut reaction in us as humans is to desire clarity, to desire understanding, to desire that single story, to make things fit into the narrative that we most comprehend. This person did this, therefore they are this. I showed up like this, or I did this, therefore I am that. And to start to take a deep breath and actually move out and experience, allow yourself to experience the multitude of things that are in fact happening at the same time within you, around you, or in our larger collective. It requires a level of detachment from the exact events, emotions, feelings that are happening at that precise moment. And especially when we feel and when there is urgency to act, it can be the hardest to actually step out and allow that complexity to be, because it is. So I want to invite you in this moment to just let yourself see that, even if that complexity is part of you saying, this isn't complex at all. This is simple. This part of me is simple. This part of this thing is black and white and clear. Can you also allow space for the part of you that's seeing, and there's another voice in me, and there's another part of me? So I offer that preface because that is the way that I support people in a multitude of endeavors. But I also offer that preface because when you consider right now what you need as you bring this year to a close and prepare for 2025, this quarter century moment, I want to invite space on in this experience of you receiving this transmission from me, this sentiment from me. I want to invite space for some of the parts of you who felt like I'm not getting the attention I need to be listened to. And there could be a variety of reasons they're not being listened to. And I'll just give you a really quick moment if you're thinking this is getting a little far out. If every single day I wake up and I've been in online education, so I have a certain level of task that I need to complete for that. There's a certain level of attunement and focus that I have to show up with. And so that part of me, that ability to be present and dedicated and witness, like see something through, is showing up to the table day after day after day. An example of a part of me that might not feel like it's getting attention or getting the space to be is the part that's like, I don't even like completion. And that's different than just resistance of I don't want to do the work. This part might not be stopping me from doing the work. I'm still capable. I'm still desiring. I still like what I'm showing up for. But this part that actually doesn't want the completion my is more my artist, you know? I don't even like these plot lines that are being thrown at me. I don't like being the human being fitting into these categories in these psychological trainings. Oh, I don't like these stories that are being given about what humans are or are not. I just want to be in a fucking sci-fi movie. Excuse my French, I was trying not to curse in this video. And uh, you know, experience life. I don't want to keep learning about it in modules. So that part does the part that's not getting attention, it doesn't have to automatically cancel out what you're doing. But often we continue to push it down because we feel threatened. If this part speaks, this other thing that's already taking so much intention, work, focus, dedication, practice, training will suffer. And this is really the beginning of shadow work. If you've ever heard, there's many ways you can describe shadow work, but shadow work, when we're not just talking about the deep psychology of hidden dreams and desires and the darker side of the human mind, shadow work is literally anything that once we shine a light on, once we choose to focus, goes out into the periphery or gets the shadow cast on it because we're looking at the light and now a shadow is being cast. And this is a very juicy and a very potent place to approach change. This is different than I am going to look exactly at the things in the way I've already looked at them and just keep moving forward. This is actually, I'm going to step back and I'm going to actually see what else am I missing and what else is there. And to do that requires a lot of freaking courage. Because to do that, the reason that we don't pause and do that with ourselves, with our relationships, with our work, is that to do that, it threatens what we've already built, you know? I already chose this relationship. I don't want to bring up any evidence of why it's not working. I already know this about myself. I don't want to learn these things that make me feel like who I am is destabilized. I've already chosen this career path and I've already put so much into it and I don't want to lose. I don't want to lose what's here. And even me speaking it, I'm emotional about that because as a very dedicated and passionate person, I have a lot of fight in me. I have a lot of push in me. And There has been such extraordinary power in myself in working with my own shadows and also in allowing space for others to work with their own shadows, to work with their own complexity, to work with their own what else is in the background. And this ultimately is what I'm here to support you on. So, the three different ways that I do that are through an endeavor where I really help you support you to consider what it is that is driving you. And this is my health work, this is my digital thriving work, but at the center of that is what is it that is propelling you forward? What is it that brings you at ease? And how do you get to that state, more that ease and safety, so that you can actually be attracting, magnetizing, and opening to what excites you? The second area is relationships. And the third area is creativity. And both of these flower out of this first one. If any of this work interests you, I invite you just to DM me, just to message me and share about your experience with what's in the light, what's out of the light, and how you want to get to experience more of yourself as we open up to the rest of the century.